Your reaction to this character who's come out of nowhere, and now the whole of America's talking about him. What's your response to Mamdani mayhem?
A total shock, something I never thought I would see in New York. New York has always been a little bit more inclined to be reasonable when necessary. I mean, we're the only one of these crooked democratic cities that at any time in the last 60 or 70 years has elected a Republican. Chicago, 70 years of Democrats, Detroit. I mean,
On Piers Morgan Uncensored, Rudy Giuliani returns to unload on Zohran Mamdani, the Muslim socialist shock winner of NYC's Democratic mayoral primary. Giuliani calls Mamdani an enemy of America and accuses him of supporting Hamas, sparking a fiery clash with panelist Cenk Uygur, who calls Giuliani's claims bigoted nonsense. The battle lines are drawn over faith, race, and radicalism in New York politics. Let's break this down.
You've had me, LaGuardia, Bloomberg. They don't have anything like that. No reform, nothing. So, plus, we're the biggest Jewish city. For a while, we were the biggest Jewish city in the world. I think Tel Aviv has now passed us. So this is a shock to me that somebody like this would come along. And it isn't even just the anti-Semitism and the anti-Jewish hate. We've almost gotten used to it in the streets of New York now over the last 2 to 3 years. This guy is a major supporter of Hamas. This is a terrorist group that wants to destroy not just Israel, they want to destroy America. Their children are taught from about 2 years old, death to Israel, death to America.
Rudy, where has he expressed any support for Hamas? Because I haven't seen that.
Giuliani's central accusation brands Mamdani as aligned with terror without clear evidence, exposing how fear-mongering can weaponize Islamophobia in politics.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, he was, by and large, he wouldn't condemn what they did when they wiped out the Israeli people. He has refused to condemn them. He refuses to acknowledge they're a terrorist group. Every time he's asked, he just kind of punts on the question. He has very, very, very strong statements that sound a lot like Hamas, intifada forever, intifada all over the world. And then he tries to claim that he has his own definition of intifada. Sorry, Zohran, you're not entitled to your own definition of intifada. They've killed about 8,000 people. That kind of sets a definition for it. We know what you're talking about. So I think you could put together a case that he supports an internationally acknowledged terrorist group that is a close ally of Iran. I mean, remember, although one is Sunni and the other is Shia, and they hate each other, Iran and Hamas, they join on two things: destroy Israel, destroy America. Death to America, death to Israel. That's what brings Iran and Hamas together.
But really, why if you believe he's so, the way you've just categorized, why are so many New Yorkers in a city, as you said, which has more Jews outside of Israel than any city in the world, why would they have rallied behind this guy if he's such an enemy of Jewish people?
Well, Piers, that's a very good question. It leads me to what's wrong with the people of my city. What's wrong with the people of Chicago? I mean, they had a mayoral primary a couple of years ago, and they picked the most outrageous, the most radical, and the dumbest candidate for mayor, who's now a complete disaster.
This reveals a blunt crisis of confidence in voter judgment, conflating political dissent with naivety and threatening to scapegoat demographics.
And they've been doing it for 65 years, even though they're a shooting gallery every Saturday night. There's a brainwashing that has taken place in these old Democrat cities. It's the same reason why you'll go into some districts in New York and Biden got 95% of the vote. How could that have happened if the people are thinking clearly? How do we elect de Blasio? De Blasio went to Cuba on his honeymoon. He was in favor of the Sandinistas, and his mother was a member of the Communist Party at Harvard. And then after his first term, he was a complete failure. We had a 22% turnout, and we reelected him. And he's the one who really destroyed the city. I mean, he literally took everything Bloomberg and I did and trashed it. I get people that come up to me on the street crying and saying to me, "You must feel awful. Everything you did was ruined."
But Rudy, when you have a Muslim candidate in a city like New York, and people start evoking 9/11, start putting burqas on the Statue of Liberty and all the stuff I played earlier, Does that not make you feel uncomfortable? New York is one of the most inclusive cities in the world, right? A place normally that's very tolerant to many different religions, many different colors and creeds, right? Surely you would feel uncomfortable as the mayor of New York when that appalling terror attack happened. Are you comfortable that people use 9/11 as a stick to beat him with?
Nobody's doing that, Piers.
Well, they are.
I was the people who protected the Muslim people after 9/11. People expected a tremendous amount of reaction against them. And Bernie Kerik and I put together a task force for 4 weeks, and there was no attack in New York, not a single one, even though you might have expected one, given the kind of emotion involved. And one of the first things I said as I was telling my people to please be careful and watch out, it might be another attack, is do not touch anybody. We're not going to be like them. We don't hate Muslim people. We hate the people who did this. And we have to make it clear to them that we can stand up to them. But then again, I'm not a fool. I know there are a substantial number of Muslims, and there's a substantial amount of the Quran that talks about slaughtering Christians and Jews. And there's a whole group of Muslims who believe that. And unfortunately, an undetermined number of them got into this country in the last 4 years, unlike any other time in our history, because of our pathetic President Biden, who also gave Iran hundreds of millions of dollars, and Obama did it in cash.
But
So
would
I don't
you
know
have a
what's going
problem,
on.
Rudy? Would you have a problem with a Muslim mayor of New York? Tax day has passed, but for millions of Americans, that's where the trouble begins. The IRS is now ramping up enforcement for those who missed the April deadline or still owe back taxes. Well, today's sponsor, Tax Network USA, can still help. If your books are a mess, if you're self-employed, or if you're a business owner, Tax Network USA specializes in cleaning up financial chaos and getting you back on track quickly. They say the IRS is applying enforcement pressure at levels they've never seen before. But even after the deadline, it's not too late to take control. The consultation is completely free. Acting now could stop penalties, threatening letters, and surprise levies before they escalate. Call 1-800-958-1000 or visit tnusa.com/peers. That's tnusa.com/peers. Let Tax Network USA make the next move, not the IRS.
Not if he told me he would write out the portion of the Quran where Muhammad is exhorting the people to kill Christians and Jews, and telling him if he doesn't kill them, they should get tribute from them. If he's like some of the imams that I'm close to who can write that out and can say that, I'd be very comfortable with him. If he's dominated by that sick, pathological philosophy, which dominates not all Muslims, but more than a comfortable amount, given all the killing they've done, then I have a real problem with it. And he doesn't sound like a moderate Muslim. He sounds like a Muslim extremist.
You said, Rudy, that you think there may need to be an investigation to see if Mamdani is an enemy of America. Is that the kind of language that is sensible? You said, Mr. Benny Johnson.
I didn't mean an investigation criminal. I meant for the purpose of voting. You and I should do the investigation as voters.
Do you really see him as an enemy of America?
Do I see him as an enemy of America?
Yeah.
What he's saying? My personal.
Yes.
You're damn right I do. I think he's going to destroy New York City. I think this is a disaster time for New York City. This guy becomes mayor, the city is gone. People are leaving the city already. You can't say things like the things he's saying and not frighten the hell out of people. I mean, it has nothing to do with even 9/11. Had 9/11 not happened, he'd be an enemy of the city. He's espousing a philosophy that wants to destroy America, wants to destroy the Jewish people, wants to destroy the Christian people, and really would like to destroy all the Muslims who disagree with them. And he is a very strong supporter of that, and he doesn't make a distinction. And he becomes very cute and stupid and silly. Plus, he's totally unqualified. He's a 33-year-old do-nothing from a rich family who's never accomplished a damn thing in his life. Whenever we've gotten a mayor like that, he's been a terrible failure, like de Blasio. This guy's not an accomplished man. He's a rich kid who has learned excessive, crazy philosophy so that he can sound smart, I think. That's the best explanation I can give of him. It might be worse.
Rudy Giuliani, always good to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed for joining me.
Thanks, Piers. Good to see you. You look great.
Thank you. So do you. Let's debate this now with Cenk, Geraldo, and Lindy. Well, Cenk, you were putting a lot of faces there. What did you make of what Rudy Giuliani said?
Yeah, your audience should ignore everything Rudy Giuliani just said. Everything was a lie. Mamdani's never supported Hamas, never said the word intifada, doesn't hate Jews or Christians. Muslims don't have to write out parts of the Quran. It would be absurd to say, hey, if you're a Jew running for mayor, you've now got to write out parts of the Torah or the Talmud. Otherwise, we don't accept Jews. If you said you're a Christian running, but you've got to cancel out parts of the Bible, otherwise we won't let Christians run. It would be deeply bigoted. And that's what Rudy Giuliani was. Bigoted nonsense, total trash. Ignore every lie he just said. Now, let's talk about, look, there's three different types of people going against Mamdani. There's the economic criticism, which is interesting, legitimate, and debate-worthy. Then there's the people who are opposed to him because he won't bow his head to Israel. And that's Rudy. And that's almost everyone in Democratic establishment and the Republican establishment. So those folks say, no, that's it. This guy won't bow. If he won't bow to Israel, if he's New York first, unacceptable. He has to be Israel first. And that's absurd. And they're deeply racist.
This cuts to the core of identity politics in American electoral battles, loyalty tests over Israel, and the ugly underside of bigotry masked as political critique.
And they're bigots, and I can't stand it. So there's other critiques of Mamdani we can get into, but in terms of this whole attack against him being Muslim and him not kissing Israel's ass is totally not relevant to New York and is only an argument made by bigots. So I hope I've been clear enough.
I think you've made your position very clear. Geraldo, welcome back.
Well, I think several things. Nice to see you, Pierce and panel. I think, first of all, he has used the expression intifada. He wants to globalize the intifada, and he speaks about it quite often. Let me finish. Secondly, I agree with you. I agree with you. Please, it's not. It's on the record. Just look it up. The second thing is that the whole notion.
He's never said
the whole notion of moving the tax burden in New York from the richer, whiter neighborhoods to the richer, whiter neighborhoods, as if the richer, whiter neighborhoods don't pay enough in tax. We've had enormous flight of the people who do pay tax to the suburbs and to other states. And all we have to do is increase the tax, the real estate tax, even more under his proposal. And you'll have no taxable base. You'll have no rich white people to pay the tax. The third thing, and curiously, I agree in a twisted way about the situation with the Palestinians. I believe that what you saw, and this is the underreported headline, I believe, is that you saw a cataclysmic shift in the Jewish vote.
The incendiary exchange between Giuliani and progressive voices captures a fierce battle over New York's future where accusations of extremism clash with calls to reject racism and demand real economic justice. At stake is not only a city's leadership, but the soul of American democracy itself. What do you think about the role religion and race play in political discourse? Drop your take below and join the debate.